Alrighty, y'all. So we're back with another video. For this video, we will be doing, as you can see, a Kyogre team. We finished the Sinnoh trio. Now we're going to work on the Hoenn trio. And then we'll do the trio of Gen 1 and Gen 2, Mewtwo and the Birds, before we move on to Generation 5, which has the most, and then Duo from 6 and the 4 from 7. Leading us up to 8, where we will have Zacian, Zamazenta, and Eternatus. As well as the 2 Ice Riders, the Ice Rider and Shadow Rider. So, yeah, we are going to rock this Kyogre team piloted from Joe UX9. It's basically, your Tauren Ogre core. And the Amoonguss has the Culpa so you can take 1 Airstream. So, like all of these videos, we're going to do between 3 and 5. I don't know the spreads. I'll see if there's a Pokepace for this later, and I'll include it in the video if there is one. Oh, well, okay. So, Tauren Ogre, let's get it. Like Clay on the Reggie, lucky to set screens. We just saw that. Basically, Kyogre is a very strong Pokemon meta. You have the option to just kind of water spout. One thing that Kyogres could be paired with, you're talking any type of Follow Me or Indeedee, for example, would be really good. So our first matchup is going to be Sun, interesting enough. So with Sun, honestly, Amoonguss could be really nice here. And our Tornadus up front. And then bring in Katagame and Kyogre in the back. One thing he could do is we could see the Nihilego using like a Trick Room, depending on if he wants to really focus on the Groudon, because the Rillaboom is going to move in that Trick Room because you're mostly going to Grassy Glide, so you're actually fine to really run him in Trick Room. So yeah, this is going to be very fun. Okay, so he actually just went ahead and lead Sun right away. So we are going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just throw a Spore in the Groudon. And I'm also going to go ahead and get my Tailwind up too, while I can. There's the Weather Ball. Okay. I actually was not expecting to be running Weather Ball on it. So now it's up to what he does. Fire Punch. Oh, wow, he's carrying Fire Coverage too. That's very interesting, to be honest with you. I don't see a lot of Fire Coverages on these guys. So we got Kyogre now. Coming in. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm still going to Water Spout here. And I'm going to go ahead and max Airstream into the venue slot. Just because I don't think he'll want to max the Venusaur in front of Kyogre. If I'm my opponent here, it may even double out. Right? So that could be a thing. And there it is. There's the double out. And of course, the Airstream is going to be very beneficial for us because I can still double out my Kyogre. So we forced a double out there. We're gonna get the Airstream here for Torn. Takes that to Sash. And honestly, the double out on his part is kind of tricky because now we're getting the basically we get a free water spout and a free Airstream. And this also prevents my opponent from having any switches coming up in this late game that control weather. So he won't be able to pivot and control weather going forward, which is a little bit, it's a little unfortunate for my opponent. And Groudon is not that big of a threat. So what we're going to do this turn is guard pivot. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot into this. And I will go ahead and honestly, I think I'm okay to get the damage off here in the Venusaur. But I still have Tailwind active. The other play, like I was gonna almost did, was to go ahead and just max guard, prevent any excessiveness of anything. But so I expect the Kyogre to go for a sword stance, or I'm sorry, I expect his Groudon to try and sword stance, and just add to some stuff. Precipice Blades comes out in the Katagami, I like that nickname. So now we just will Leaf Blade, we Airstream again. Here's where he'll probably want to max guard. He hasn't used his max yet. We still have Kyogre coming in, is going to set rain and have an easy water spout. So we may see the max here just to get for him to try and get damage output. I mean, he does have max flare, so as long as he can live something, he can try and reset the weather control, and we don't have that ability. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to take out the Torn on this turn. Because Torn also has Rain Dance too, but then it's going to be Prankster priority. So, like, it's just a very well built team, to be honest with you. So, yeah, Torn has great damage output, which is the other benefit of this team. Is like in this position, maxing Torn was just super good for us. So we were able to max Torn and just Leaf Blade, and that's a GG. You know, nothing too crazy. It was a good matchup for us. The weather wars there. Him leading Groudon really did allow the pilot. You know, we lost Amoonguss early, but it was kind of like a calculated loss. If we do lose it, then it is what it is. Yeah. So I wonder if he was going for Sleep Powder on that turn where he knocked out the Venusaur. Unmaxed Venusaur just takes so much damage from the Airstreams though. So, alright. Game 1 was successful with the Torn Ogre team. So, we'll move on to Game 2. Like I said with all these, I'm going to do between 3 to 5. Just to kind of showcase a little bit of each team. Dialga. Okay, so Dialga is actually not a great matchup for the Torn Ogre variants, mainly because of Grimmsnarl. Yeah, so I mean, I could rock that for the fake out pressure and bring Katagami. Katagami can Knuckle, it can Leaf Blade. I mean, it could hit quite a bit of stuff. Amoonguss would be pretty good too with that. And then I'll rock Torn Ogre in the back. Yeah, yeah. I kind of like that. So fake out spore turn one is going to be the go-to probably 80% of the time with this particular setup. Um, it also has the potential to bait out the Tapu Fini, to stop sleep for statuses. So that's one good thing here. Um, so you could also argue running like Katagami here or Lucky for a lot of good damage output early on. But I think a more passive with Incineroar would work really nice here. Plus, if you goes a typical like Lando, Dialga, Telepathy, Earthquake spam, we'll at least get the negative on Landers. So let's see if that's what he goes for. He goes Grimmsnarl and Dialga. So even though it is a little risky, we do want to go ahead and try and get some damage output. So we're gonna fake out into that. We'll throw the spore into here and bait out the switch. So this lets us know if he did indeed bring Fini, or if he did not bring Fini. So if my opponent here, one of their best plays would be to pivot the Grimmsnarl and the Tapu Fini here, stop sleep, and basically get a free turn because I'm also faking out. Um, so it's passive on my end and they can take a really good advantage of it. But the thing is, if they don't bring Fini, the reward for me is so much better, right? Okay, so they're maxing. Let's see if there's a switch out or not. I can't remember. Is maxing animation first, then switch out, or no? I feel like it's max, then pivots. Yeah, I think so. Okay. So this will be really good then, if that is the case. Fake out hits, boom, okay. Flinches, couldn't set up screams. You're gonna max flare into the Amoonguss. Oh no. What is up with these weird things today, man? I don't really remember seeing a lot of like max flares and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember a lot of that. It's Life Orb Dialga 2. Okay, so I'm just gonna go torn here, and I don't really have a max option that I like as much. Kind of like the idea of just taunting into this Grimmsnarl and not let it get screens up, because that's the most dangerous thing I can have happen to me right now, especially. Um, man, that's weird. I never expect max flare from Dialga though, so that was really good tech by my opponent there. I mean, that's why, like I said, I really didn't predict that to be one of the things I'd have to worry about here. So we're maxing Incineroar. Oh, I can't Prankster Dark types. Alright, that was a mistake on my part then. Let's see what you do. I'm assuming you're going to max Quake and Cinny. That should be GG. I don't think I'm going to... Yeah, it's a 2-hit KO. Yeah. We're going to guard and Tailwind now. Okay. max. Go for the max flare. He's gonna go ahead and withdraw Grimmsnarl now. What does he go into? He goes into Landers here. Gets the Intimidate drop, which is really good. I still actually got some damage out of this. That was good for us. Okay, goes for Trick Room. Just go for Flare Blitz. Alright, he finally aimed in the Torn. And Rock Slide, I'm assuming. So unfortunately, we don't have the gas to beat out the Trick Room here. I do think Cartonic could have been a possible good matchup. I just really did not expect that fire attack. That really did do a lot for my opponent as far as positioning early on in the game. I mean, I guess at this point I would just Origin Pulse and Hurricane again. There's really nothing else to do. Like the one other thing I could do is I could like spam some Protect, Ice Beam type of stuff to dwindle it down and try and get out of Trick Room, but when you're talking 3 whole turns, so 2 of those would be Protect. And I definitely would take a lot of damage, so I wouldn't be healthy enough to come back and fight the back into the Trick Room. So the Flash Cannon, that's good. So if Lando gets confused here, that would be cool. Actually, that'd be really good for us. We need some hacks. Oh. So Water Spout would have been the best play there, for sure. What are we talking here? 2 turns left of Trick Room. Protect. Spirit Break. And Earth Powers. Okay. So the question now, potentially in the back, is what? Urshifu, maybe? Do I go for the double Protect? I kind of want to risk the double Protect. Because I feel like I take too much damage without it. Alright, we don't get the double. Spirit Break's probably going to do about 40%. 30-ish. We get the special attack drop. Earth Power does... yeah, a little bit more. Dialga dies from that. Trick Room does end. So, I mean, okay, we could have justifiably just attacked the Grimmsnarl there and tried it. So let's see if it's Urshifu. It is. So we are taking a Sucker Punch Urshifu for sure. So GG. Yeah, he preserved the Urshifu. That was really good for him. Um, it's scary face too to deal with the Zacians. All right. So this will probably be the final game. Oh, a fellow Rain matchup. So Regieleki, Amogus, and then in the back, Katagame and Kyogre. Because we haven't brought Regieleki, so this will let us officially use the last couple, all the full team. So, honestly, I think screens would be really good here. Like, so good. I'm curious to see what he does here. I mean, he's probably going to go for a Wicked Blow. I would love Speed Control as well against this with some Electro Whips. But I do think I think he's going to want to max, and he's probably going to just go for a max Airstream. Colby Berry will activate. We should live it. And then he may try and follow it up with a Urshifu Wicked Blow just to get it gone. But light screen goes up, boom, beautiful. Urshifu's Wicked blows into. It's gonna be a crit, so it really doesn't matter. It wasn't a Regieleki. That's actually super good. Hopefully he's airstreaming. Barry activates. Light screen. So we're living this. Unless it's a crit. Oh, we tanked that. Oh, jeez. That's good. Get the speed rise. It's okay. Get the speed rise. What are you, Scarf Lucky? Are you Scarf Urshifu? I'm curious. Now I'm gonna go for the. I think I'm just gonna go for the Electro Web. And another Spore into the Urshifu this time. So I'm assuming Wicked Blow again. This finish off. Don't let any more screens up because you are scarfed. Oh, nope. Who am I maxing this game? I think is the biggest question. Alright, so we'll go ahead and bring Amoonguss out now. I know it's annoying to go double sleep turn one, but when he lets Amoonguss tank, I might as well abuse that, you know what I'm saying? There's no point not to abuse it. So if we get one this turn of sleep, that'd be great. Urshifu stays sleeping. Kyogre stayed sleeping. Beautiful. Kyogre's max is over, so our opponent's max is now officially over with. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Electro Web one more time, and I will go ahead and so I'll Volt Switch to Kyogre. Now Max Knuckle the Urshifu. Because I don't think I'm going to Dynamax Kyogre in this game. And I think Regieleki has some benefit because we know the Urshifu scarf, so we know his restricted in the back is not scarfed. So what we're doing here is we're just getting Kagami to go ahead and go get some damage off, and that Sucker Punch won't do much to a max. Assuming Volt Switch is going to be enough to put it down in near death. So I'm going to just swap back into Amoonguss now. My little mushroom friend. Kagami gets max Knuckle off. Gets 2 attack boosts now. 1 from the Knuckle and 1 from picking up the KO. So it's a +2 attack. So if my opponent has Incineroar, he's going to have to bring it in here, pretty much. Hurricane. I'm Assault Vest, so I actually do tank that a little bit, which is really nice. We may see Rain just to try and throw off another Hurricane into me. So I will go ahead and I'm going to Rage Powder just to get whatever Kyogre's attack is into my Pokemon. And I'll Max Strike into the Kyogre slot, expecting the Protect from Kyogre. Let's see. Water Spout. I live 1 at least, so that's always good. Hurricane. Right. And strike now because you're pretty fast. Might as well strike and pick up the KO. Take another attack boost. So we'll take those. Alright, so now we will go into our going to Regieleki again. Mainly because he's fast and offers more speed control. The opponent has Porygon 2. So I will be electro webbing. And what am I at? +3. I'm gonna electro webbing on the knuckle. Because this Kyogre has speed drop, so like my Kyogre coming in has to match up one on that. So, and I should tank one more water spout. And we're now at +4 attack. Oh, +5 attack because of Knuckle again. Oh my gosh. This is why like Kartana is so good on rain cores, man. We haven't really got to feature it, but it really is because 90% of the time you don't really need a maxed Kyogre. It has the spread move outside of max. That's more beneficial. So you might as well just abuse that. So we're just going to actually don't have Thunder on this one, so we're going to just do that and Leaf Blade with our +5. Yeah. All right. And good game. So yeah, 2 out of 3 with the Kyogre team. So I'll go back to the team here in a second and pull it up and we'll look at it and I'll kind of talk about it for a few minutes and go over my overall opinion on the build and like how I felt using the team and the reads and whatnot and how they were, because that does matter so much, when you're talking about these rental teams. Not even 2 points there. Rental teams. All right. All right. So the Kyogre, he's running Origin Pulse and Water Spout on it. With the Mystic Water, the boost your water type attacks. You have Ice Beam to hit, other stuff like the dragons that are gonna poke you, that are kind of resist the water a little bit better. So you at least the hail. You could also opt for over Origin Pulse Thunder. Have a better Kyogre versus Kyogre matchup, but you don't need it if you play correctly. Incineroar with the goggles lets you kind of ignore Sun. You have the Flare Blitz to hit back in the venue. You also have Parting Shot to cripple it and cripple other things. Taunt to shut down Trick Rooms and Fake Out for Fake Out. So like we could have, if we weren't max, we could have taunted that, but we would have died because of the Quakes in the game too. That was just a really awful play by me. Amoonguss, the Code variant, once again helps you live in Airstream. And you saw in that third game, we got, double sleep because of between Aleki and Amoonguss. You're just able to control a board if your opponent leads incorrectly. And that's what we were able to do. We got the light screen up. He was trying to preserve his restricted. That allowed us to get light screen plus Koba, take like 30% damage. He went Wicked Blow and Regieleki. He has enough to live. So now his one mon's asleep and max. So got one turn out of his Dynamax, and then the subsequent turn he's trying to get rid of Amoonguss because he knows what it's about to do. We go ahead and just spore it anyway because we're going to live, and we go ahead and just start getting spread damage and chip on everything. And then of course with the Katagami or Kartana, we're able to set up, and you saw with the chip, it was safe to just throw max Knuckles and a couple things to boost our attack. We were at +4, +5, I think, by the end of that match. And then, of course, use the Guillotine as a max move for strike for speed control to lower that Kyogre speed to make it a little bit cleaner in the end game just to be safe. Torn, typical, this one has a little bit better damage output than most of the Torn Ogre cores. So you're able to, you can set Rain Dance if the opponent comes in with weather. So if it's a game where you're just like, I'm going to lead Kyogre and go for broke, and they turn around and, I don't know, decide to not lead, but then you think there's a switch incoming, you can just hit Rain Dance. So after they switch in, you're just going to reset the weather, the rain, which then stops the venue and lets you get that Ice Beam off pretty well. So That's the other benefit for it. Tailwind for speed, taunt, another way to stop Trick Room. Um, yeah, overall, I mean, it's a very strong team. This was created once again by Joe UX9. So I will leave the link for the team, the rental, and all that in the comments or in the description. And yeah, check it out, man. It's super easy to use. Like I said, for read wise, you know, we're it's not horrible. I think it's a great team for beginners to play with, especially because the reads are just so easy to make with something like this. You can get to the advanced reads as well, building with this team and using it. But I think this team just offers really good symmetry, and it's just really easy to kind of learn using because it offers so much extra support from a builder's perspective. So please check it out. And Joe has a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel. I'll throw a link to one of those on the comments as well. Thank y'all for watching.